Today I am going to be performing a reading of the great Shakespearean tragedy that is The Life of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a longer piece with many characters and acts. I'd love to start with Act 1, but alas I was not more than a lustful look in my father's eyes when the first act was written. So I'll just quickly skim through that. I see. So what I'm gathering is that Japan, not the popular Japan, but the other Japan, tried to defraud, defame, and dethrone the popular Japan by condemning their endorsement of overweight Italian plumbers who partake of special mushrooms. Apparently this was done by having a hedgehog that had an accident with a bottle of blue 90s Energy brand hair dye read the first book of the Holy Christian Bible really fast to literally anyone who would listen. Key aspects of his gospel included 16 bits, supersonic speed, and blast processing. And this method actually worked. At first. Wow, I had no idea Shakespeare could be so gripping. Up until now, all I'd seen from him was star-crossed teenage lovers whose brief affair kills everyone, and sad men from Denmark who can't decide whether it is better to kill their uncle at the behest of their father's ghost or fall on their own sword. To be or not to be, more like, you see, I do not see how writing something in iambic pentameter makes it necessary reading for 21st century American high school students. I really ought to iamb you in the pentameter and see how you like it. What were we talking about again? Oh, right. Sonic the Hedgehog. He's really one of my favorite things in the world. I have really liked Sonic ever since my first encounter with him, and I think he's one of the better characters out there in the scape of video games. But his history is a little bit rocky. So, what is it like to like something that a lot of people hate? Well, for this particular video, I'm just going to go into a little bit of detail of my history with Sonic, and then I'll go over a few different, general series things like favorite Sonic game, favorite Sonic model, favorite moveset, things like that. So, if you're interested in hearing any of that stuff, then please stick around. I don't really have a reliable way to record my face, so we're just going to do this podcast style. And please note that any art that you see in this video is either art that I know is official artwork from the series, or it is artwork that I have made myself. I don't intend to steal anyone's artwork, so I just wanted to make that quite clear. As you may have gathered from that little introduction I did, I like Sonic and I really can't stand Shakespeare. And I want to remind everyone that these are what we call opinions. You find opinions in everything from old video games to cereal boxes. And because I'm an individual, I have them. And because you are also an individual, they might be different from yours. And I hope that that doesn't lead to any nasty discourse. Just know that my opinions are based on my experiences and how I have been shaped. Therefore, they are completely unique to me and may differ from your own because you are a different person from me who has had different experiences and has been shaped differently. Opinion! As I alluded to before, I am not as old as this franchise. It predates me by a little bit. So, how did Sonic and I first meet? Well, when I was growing up, I didn't have a home console, even though at that point, home consoles were very well established as a thing, and so I had a desktop computer, the family computer, and so my main exposure to any type of game was mainly point-and-click adventure games on the PC. So then one day I was at a neighbor's house, and they had a GameCube, and they had a copy of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and I played City Escape, and I was hooked. So I must have talked about it quite a bit because my father actually managed to download a demo for the PC version of Sonic Adventure DX, and I played that constantly. And then, thankfully, for Christmas that year, I was in about second grade, and for Christmas that year, my parents got me a copy of the PC version of Sonic Adventure DX. And I still to this day consider it the best Christmas present I've ever gotten from anybody. Now, back in the day, if you wanted a game on your computer the size of this game, it had to come on 2 different discs. You can just pop that bad boy off of Steam nowadays, but it was a very different world. So I had those 2 CDs and I kept them for years. I would start and restart the game, and the timeline's a little fuzzy, but I know I eventually did beat the PC version of Sonic Adventure DX. It was the first actual video game that I ever completed. And then after I had gotten into Sonic, I heard the announcement of Sonic Heroes, and I bought the PC version of that with my own money, and that was the first video game I ever bought with my own money, and it was super awesome. I didn't ever beat it on PC. Unfortunately, Sonic's homing attack in that game is a little bit different from how it works in the other games. There's a bit of a delay where you have to not hit the A button or whatever to do the next attack. You have to kind of hit and then pause a moment and then hit again, and he'll go to the next thing. And when you get to the 3 altars in Mystic Mansion, you have to homing attack some pumpkin ghosts to get back to the center when you do the speed section, Sonic's part. And I could never get past that. So I ended up playing some of the other campaigns. And then years later, I got a GameCube, and I managed to track down a copy of Sonic Heroes for the GameCube, and that's where I actually beat it. I really wish Sega would release Sonic Heroes on a modern platform, because it's really one of my favorite Sonic games out there, and it's just, you can only play it on original hardware, and that sucks. But anyways, when I did actually play through it, I found out that Team Dark, who is supposed to be the hard mode version for that stage, you didn't even have to do that whole homing attack across a chasm thing to get to back from the speed altar. I don't remember how it actually happens, what you actually do instead, but it wasn't as difficult, and I'm just so what was the point of doing that with Sonic if you aren't even going to put that in the quote hard mode? It was one of those moments, And then I completely managed to miss Shadow the Hedgehog, which is probably for the best because it's got a darker tone to it. It's aimed at an older audience, and honestly, it mishandles a lot of its darker themes. So, probably not the best thing for a younger kid to be playing, but I did get to play it when I was in high school. I had a Wii at that point, and I bought a few GameCube games for it, which one of them was Shadow the Hedgehog, and then I also got Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and I still have Shadow the Hedgehog. I ended up getting rid of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which I deeply regret. And then my sister got a copy of Sonic Riders, which I also played. and eventually beat. But, you know, during that time, there were a lot of games coming out for Sonic between the Storybook series and '06 and then Unleashed and even Colors. But I saw advertisements for some of these games, and I don't know why, but I just never bothered to look for them in stores. So, from the time Sonic Heroes came out until I was like 19, the only games that I touched were Sonic Adventure DX, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and Shadow the Hedgehog. And then I guess also Sonic Riders, even though that's not a main series game. It is a fun game. I like to play it. But I didn't get my hands on any of the new stuff. I did forget to mention that I actually had some Genesis plug-and plays when I was younger. One of them was packaged with Sonic 1. One of them was packaged with Sonic 2. I could not get past the second level for either game. And then I also had the Game Boy Advance release of Sonic 1, and I couldn't get past Marble Zone. So, not the best classic gamer at the time, and still really not that great at them, especially if I'm not using like save states. But that was basically my exposure to the classics. And then the other thing that I had with the classics was at one point my dad managed to get a hold of like a folder full of Genesis ROMs. Some of them actually worked, some of them were broken. But I played the first level of Sonic 3 and the first level of Sonic and Knuckles, and I don't think I ever made it past either of them. So, that's the classics for you, just unforgivingly difficult. I did find the DS multi-cart of the classics in the Walmart bargain bin, and so I have played on my 3DS those versions, and I've never actually gotten to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles proper, but this multi-cart does include the capability to use Knuckles in Sonic 2 and Knuckles in Sonic 3. However, I don't think it's the same as the lock-on. It's more like this is a separate game that just happens to feature Knuckles in the stages from the original game. And while playing that, I did actually finally manage to beat Sonic 1. Heavily used the load and save feature. And I think that's probably the only way I'm ever going to be able to beat the classics. Just because, like, you get to the final boss and you don't have any rings. And it's like, why are these so difficult? Like, especially at the end, there's just a huge spike in difficulty. And it's like, I don't think I could have survived as a gamer during the classic era. Like, I know the point is you play through each time and you get better each time. But, like, that philosophy is so lost on a person who has grown up with games that you can save your progress in. So, it's one of those things. I feel like my love for Sonic is definitely helped by the newer games, and the classics are just kind of things that I'm like, oh, I may eventually beat those, but like, that's before my time, and it's really not the way I like to experience Sonic. So then, for my 19th birthday, I basically asked for all the Sonic games that I never got to play as a kid, and I've been slowly chipping away at them. I think I've gotten through all the ones that I got then, and I've moved on to other stuff. I don't think I'll ever be able to play literally all of the games that feature Sonic that have ever been made, but I think at this point I've at least gotten through all of the main console series. And, you know, that's enough for me. So then I went through a bit of a rough patch. I had some psychological issues. Went to the dark side of the human psyche, and it was not a fun place. But thankfully, I was able to get help. I had known up until that point that I had some psychological stuff because I am on the autism spectrum. I got diagnosed when I was in about third grade. And I also have OCD, which I inherited from my mother, which makes for a very obsessive personality, but also I live with a lot of anxiety and I live with a lot of drawbacks socially. So, that was all established. And then I just had some more issues pop up, and it was a good few months before I was able to really feel normal again. And even then, I felt kind of like I was a completely different person from the boy who discovered Sonic all those years ago. And it made me really sad that I had not gotten to complete all the games before this happened to me. But realistically, I was never going to be exactly the same as I was when I was in second grade. I mean, nobody is. And if you are, then there's really a problem there. But it was actually Sonic that was kind of a bright spot for me. I discovered the YouTuber Peter Netter. He did Sonic content at the time. I mean, he still has Sonic stuff on his channel from time to time, but like back then he was really big into doing reviews on all the Sonic games, and I just watched through them and I'm like, yeah, I can see he really likes these games and he wants to give them a chance, and it was great to see that. And then I watched his playthroughs of the new Sonic games that released that year, which it was 2017, so that was when Mania and Forces hit. And seeing somebody my age have fun with a Sonic game was just really inspiring. And it was like, okay, I can still play these games and try to enjoy them just as much as I did before. I might have gone through something, but I'll give them a chance. And I wasn't going to play Mania at first because it does harken back to the classic formula, but I'm really glad I did. It's a really fun game, and it's like a Whitman sampler of all the different zones from the original game with a couple new ones thrown in. And I've always liked the art style of the classics, so that's a plus. And then I also played Forces. I think I actually played Forces first, and I liked that too. I definitely think both games have some things they could improve upon, but I'll get to more detail about those when I actually do a review on them. And that about brings us up to present day. Unlike everybody else, I'm waiting for Frontiers, see how that turns out. And I think I may try to look at Origins if that comes out first, and maybe try to finally beat the classics. I'm not sure that'll ever happen, but fingers crossed. And I think I'll probably also eventually get Colors Ultimate, just because being able to play basically the same game as Colors on newer hardware will be kind of nice. I know it had like a rocky launch, which typical of a Sonic game. There's just so much stuff that's gonna happen. But I think I've heard that it's improved a little bit since then. I'm definitely not gonna get it on the Switch, which I don't think that's a Sonic Colors Ultimate problem. I honestly think the Switch is a bit of a step up from a calculator in terms of the power it has inside it. So, that's just the Switch. But I will probably see if I can get it on my Xbox at some point. And so, that's really my history with Sonic and a little bit about me. And I'll just go ahead and run through a few final thoughts, like general series thoughts, so you can get a better feel for how I like Sonic the best. So I would definitely say that my favorite game from the entire series is still going to have to be Sonic Adventure 2. More specifically, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, just because that's the one that I've played. And I really like the Chow Garden. Like, I know it's not everybody's thing, but you have no idea how happy I would be to see a Chow Garden in a Sonic game again. Or even just like a Chow Garden spin-off game would be cool. I actually did a little bit of like concept art just to get familiar with the Illustrator program, Adobe Illustrator. I am taking classes that apply to that because I'm in a program that deals in graphic arts and printing. So I really wanted to get a feel for the program, and so I took this old drawing I had. I wasn't that young when I made it. I think I would have already been in college, actually, but it definitely had a lot it could be improved upon. And I had bigger plans for it. It was a mock-up of, like, what I thought a hero garden could look like. But I actually had plans to make it like a 3-tiered thing where you could actually visit each garden from the same, like, space. So I fleshed out the rest of it. And I think I may end up doing a video where I build it in Minecraft, just because I think that might be kind of neat. But definitely something to look forward to if you made it this far in the video. As far as my favorite Sonic model, I don't think I have like a favorite model. There are definitely models I don't care for. I don't care for the Dreamcast models, but that's probably got a lot more to do with the fact that I grew up with DX, which doesn't use the Dreamcast models. It uses the one that they use in Sonic Adventure 2. And so that's probably, I guess, if I had to pick, like, this is the definitive favorite Sonic model, I would say the Sonic Adventure model is the best. And as far as movesets are concerned, like, moves that I think Sonic should have in his arsenal, like, I like the spin dash. I was really surprised that there was no spin dash in Sonic 1 because it is such an iconic move, and I really think they should bring it back. But, like, I also like the boost formula. Like, boosting through a trail of enemies is really satisfying. You know they were just put there so you could boost through them, but, like, it feels great. It's the same as with the homing attack. I think the homing attack is important for traversing a 3D space. And I know there are times where it's just, oh, this trail of enemies is clearly for homing attack. But, like, that's kind of how level design works. And I would say also that's one of the reasons I haven't had as much luck picking up the classic formulas, because there is no homing attack. You have to jump onto an enemy and hope that you're still in attack mode or you'll lose your rings, which is fine. And I'm not saying that they should make classic Sonic have a homing attack if that's not what the people who enjoy that version of Sonic want. But, like, I don't think the homing attack is inherently bad, just like I don't think the boost is inherently bad. So I think all three of those moves are great. And then one move that I would like to see return at some point is the Blue Tornado move from Sonic Heroes. I just think that's a really cool looking move. Like, it's cool to watch it happen. I love the bounce move from the adventure games. They had a version of it in Sonic 06, and I thought that was great. And then you know, just the general stuff. Like, I, I think that it shouldn't be possible for Sonic to do, like, everything, because if you want to have other characters involved, like, if they were to do, like, another Sonic Heroes style game, like, you want Sonic to have certain weaknesses so that there are other different things that other characters can do. Like, the reason I mention this is just because I've played the Sonic World fan game, and they keep to, like, the team system, but the thing of it is, most of the stages are designed with Sonic in mind, so there are literally parts of them that you could only get through as Sonic, which, given the size of their character roster and the variations of their movesets, is really weird. And also, the team system is literally just, you can pick whoever you want, whatever moves they have, and there aren't, like, type classifications like there are in the Sonic Heroes game. So, like, every character has to have a move that can, say, break the most indestructible thing in the game. And they all have the spin dash. They all have the stomp. Like, there are just certain moves that every character has to have because of that. But then, like, there will be places where you can't get across without a homing attack. And if you didn't pick Sonic or, like, Shadow or one of the characters that can homing attack, then you aren't going to be able to finish the level. So it's like, I feel like it is important when you're balancing, like, a set of characters for some of them to be better at certain things than others. I think that's why Heroes worked so well for me. And then, I mean, they used the same type classifications in Sonic Riders, and that made sense too. But then with Team Sonic Racing, they had a completely different type. Like, they switched over to Technique type, which I honestly don't know why they did that. My only guess is that they thought it would be weird if Eggman was a fly type, but, like, 90% of the time throughout the franchise, when we've seen Eggman, he's in a flying vehicle. So, like, it's not that out of the question that he could be fly type, you know? And, like, Silver, he's got his psychokinesis, so he can fly. Tails is one of the ones in Technique type, having been a fly character for, like, his whole life. And he can fly, and then, like, you've got the Chow. Chow can fly. So, you know, it's just little things like that I feel like if you just take a moment to think about what makes sense and why things work the way they do, then maybe changing or removing things like that is not the best idea. But anyways, I'm clearly just rambling at this point, so I'm going to let y'all guys go. If anybody is actually still watching or watching in the first place, I will upload videos that I have as reviews of each of the games that I've played, and so you can look forward to that. I will still continue to do Minecraft Sonic builds, so you can look forward to that. And I honestly don't care at this point if nobody's listening. I'm going to scream into this void. Alright, peace.